Today we are going to make a homemade sprouted quinoa flour. It's a great gluten-free alternative that is high in protein and contains more nutrients for easier digestion and absorbing. The first step is to soak the quinoa into filtered water. I use 500 grams of store-bought quinoa. Soak it for about 2 hours and set a timer for your convenience. Step number 2. Rinse your soaked quinoa very well. Spend about 3-4 minutes for this rinsing. We need to remove all possible dust and prepare the grains for sprouting. If you don't have a special jar for sprouting, like me right now, leave your rinsed quinoa on a colander. Cover quinoa with a kitchen towel or cheesecloth and leave in room temperature for about 4-5 hours. Step number 3. Check your quinoa. Right now you will not see any sprouts yet, but rinse it again. Cover and leave on your counter for next 4-5 hours. So you need to rinse your quinoa each 4-5 hours or after the night, in the morning. I usually see the first sprouts in about 24-36 hours after the first soaking step. Finally, we can finish our sprouting process, so let's show you why. So now you can see that our quinoa has a lot of tails and each grain was cracked. It means each grain had started to giving us a small tail. So some of them has right now a very long tails and some of them just started to do it. But for us it's completely enough for making quinoa sprouted flour. I just want to tell you that for now I sprouted my quinoa for about 36 hours. I would say it's 2 nights and 1 whole day. Right now my quinoa is very dry. I want to rinse it again to get the most, you can see these tails, yeah? To get it more clean and without any additional dust, and then I will show you how to make it dry. So let's rinse it very well. Now I want to divide my quinoa between 2 sheets. One sheet is a baking sheet and I will be drying my quinoa into the oven. And just in case you have a dehydrator, it's probably more convenient option, and I want to dehydrate another half of our quinoa. But anyway, both options are completely fine for our goal. So let's put the half. We need to create quite thin layer. In this step, when you received sprouted quinoa with the tails, you can make a quinoa cereal. So it can be amazing side for your dish. So usually ovens have the lowest temperature of 200, so we set our oven on 200 Fahrenheit. Then we put our sheet with a thin layer of sprouted quinoa inside of our oven. We leave the door a little bit opened. In this state, we can leave our quinoa to dry for about 5-6 hours. And now let's spread this quinoa on our silicone sheet for our dehydrator. We make again a thin layer. In the dehydrator we set 115 Fahrenheit or about 45-46 Celsius, and we leave our sprouted quinoa to dehydrate for about 12-16 hours. the last step of making sprouted quinoa flour. So you remember I put our quinoa into the dehydrator, one sheet, and another sheet I put into the oven, and I dried my sprouted quinoa overnight in both tools, and both of them gave me the same result. So I have completely dry quinoa with a tiny dry tails. Same thing from this side. So absolutely dry thing. So right now we need to grind it into the flour and then sift it. Just blend. That's it. So I helped a little bit with the spoon to blend everything evenly, and last step, let's sift it. Okay, so I see that my pieces right now are quite big, and if you have a coffee grinder, it's a perfect amount to grind it into the flour, into the more thin consistency into the coffee grinder. I will finish it on this step. So here you are my flour. It is sifted, so you can use it into the recipe just after measuring, so it doesn't require more sifting. And now I want to weigh how many flour we received from 500 grams, almost a little bit more than 1 pound quinoa. Let's do it. So from 500 grams of quinoa groats, quinoa seeds, we received 350 grams of sprouted, amazingly healthy and amazingly good for our digestion sprouted quinoa flour. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.